Version 3.2, we've actually updated the UFS sound bank libraries, so they've been optimized, essentially reducing the file size and maximizing the sound quality. We've given links now to the updated UFS files, so grab those for version 3.2. We've got our friend Matt Vanicoro joining us on the keys. Matt's a composer, producer, musician from New York City. And it's great to have Matt here at the show. So we've got an instrument from UVI. They make a wonderful collection of instruments that work with MachFive 3. And the first one we want to show is the UVI Prepared Piano.
So you can actually select like what type of preparedness you want. Do you want to put some coins on the strings, some tin foil, a back scratcher? You can really get some really cool ambient, creepy stuff if you're scoring a horror film. And then you don't have to do that to your piano, which would be a terrible thing to do, because I don't think you can come back from that.
Very customizable. Again, multiple layers where you can individually select what's playing on each and every single key. So that's a very unique tool. If you're looking for sound design, prepared piano for film scores, that's the one. UVI released a collection called Waverunner, which is based on wavetable synthesis from the past 30 years. They've created some interesting instruments in here. Let's take a tour through a few of them.
Very retro.
I like the sound of those wavetable.
Yeah,
sounds
it's like
good.
Old Korg wavetable synthesis.
Right. Well, let's take a look at one here called Waverunner Orange.
Oh, this is a really big pad. I like the involvements.
The Orange is based on 90s wavetable synthesis. Let's move on over to a Waverunner Terminal U, which is based on step sequencing.
Yeah, and what I like about this is that you've got 3-step sequencers and 3 different layers. So each one can be doing its own independent thing. And step sequencing is a lot more than arpeggiating, as you know. There's a lot of pitch modification, mod modification going on, so you can really create some kind of nice Owl City arpeggio style sequences.
And Waverunner X, these are based on raw wavetables.
So again, you can hear a lot of multiple layers going on there. We got a nice sweep with the mod wheel, but an arpeggiator as well.
Cool. We've got a new instrument also from UVI. This one's called Ultramini, Classic Analog Synthesis.
And again, you can hear the multiple layers in there. You've got a nice little sine wave, monophonic synth, but also some chords behind it as well.
And of course, full control. Again, all the parameters are learnable. There's a production suite called Urban Suite it's a new library collection from UVI. This is called Beat Control. Beat Control will let me go in and actually solo the various elements. We can change the patterns. I can change the tuning. All of it's automatable. I can add filters, and we can add back in the other elements. So if you're looking for a quick way as a producer to add some beats, modify the tempo, modify the elements, the tuning, the pan, the volumes, this is called Beat Control. This is part of Urban Suite from UVI. This is all called Urban X. This is also part of Urban Suite.
So really thick leads with a nice sweep behind it on the cutoff.
Nice. Let's show them the 8-bit drum machine. This is called Primate.
So this one you actually have access to the individual elements. if you don't want to use the pre-programmed patterns. You can use the pre-programmed patterns and you can edit them, but you can also mix in the individual elements if you want to add while you're doing the pre-programmed pattern, which is kind of nice.
So you've got patterns with different resolutions, and you've got the individual elements as well in an 8-bit drum machine called Primate. So that's a quick tour of, this is a new collection called UVX10P. Do you guys remember the Roland JX8P by chance, or the MKS70? Some classic Roland stuff that they redid called UVX10P. I love the sound of these. Matt, let's hear a couple of the patches.
A very big, classic Roland arpeggio sound.
It's a cool sound. Let's try the creamy pad. I like the sound of this one.
Yeah, it's a nice pad.
Great. Love the sound of that. So this is UVI. You can visit uvi.net to learn more about these libraries. They're all compatible now with MachFive version 3. Now we're going to switch over to the acoustic side. We've got some wonderful instruments. This is called the GD6 acoustic guitar.
So you can play it like a normal keyboard type guitar where you're playing every note. If you want your playing to sound a little more authentic, you can enable some hammer-ons in the legato mode. So now I can actually get some hammer-on samples when I play two notes close to each other. So it really gives it an authentic sound. And if you want to play chords, it actually has a chord mode where it will invert whatever you're playing with the left hand to make it more guitar-like. So if I play a simple E triad, you can see there it's playing it and inverting it as if it would on the guitar. I have access to individual strings. I can play them individually. Or I can strum. I have control over up strumming and down strumming. So, and you can also use patterns as well. So if you don't want to create your own strumming patterns, you can make some chords down here and use the built-in strumming patterns. You can program them to be whatever you want, in any order you want, if you find one you like. And just change the chord, keeping that same strumming pattern. And you don't have to worry about the inversion in your left hand. You play it in your left hand, and it will invert it to make it as the proper guitar-like automatically. That's the scripting technology does it for you.
So this is the GD6 acoustic guitar. It's playable, strummable with patterns. It's a beautiful instrument, and it works obviously with all the hosts in MachFive version 3. Let's switch over to a beautiful piano from Acoustic Samples. This is the Kawai EX Pro.
So really a lot of dynamics behind it. It's sampled off a piano that's in Washington, D.C. A really nice big Kawai Grand. Very, very nice, a lot of character to it.
Beautiful instrument. They also have an updated library called Urban Drums. Let's check out some of this instrument.
What I love about Urban Drums is that it actually mixes acoustic and electric samples and gives you full control over it. So if you look, each of these modules, each of these instruments, you can enable the acoustic overhead mics, but you can also enable the synth as well. So if I play the hi-hat, you'll hear Matt can take out the acoustic hi-hat, and you can hear just that Roland like TR-808 style.
Now I'll blend in the sample.
And now blend in the electric one, the acoustic one. What's great about it, it gives it more punch, because a lot of times you want that electric feel, but some of those drum machines can be wimpy sometimes. It doesn't have the punch that you want for your track. So you can get this nice organic sound that is acoustic and electric combined together. And you control it. It's really wonderful.
This is Whirly from Acoustic Samples, based on obviously a Wurlitzer sample. We've got different cabinets that we can use. We can add distortion, and the acoustic aspect of it is the sort of mechanical sounds from the instrument. So if I pull out the electric, this is just the sound of the...
So that's what you'd hear if you stuck your head up against the Whirly and it wasn't plugged in.
We'll add in the electrical aspect. It's a lot of distortion. Let me pull that back here. Cool. So that's the Whirly. Those are some new libraries from Acoustic Samples available for MachFive version 3. Talking about pianos, there's a wonderful library called VI Labs. This company develops some beautiful pianos. There's 3 in a collection called TrueKeys. This is the Italian Grand. This is the Fazioli 308. It's a 10-foot piano with 3 different mic positions, and they've done soft pedal sampling as well. So let's hear a little of the Italian Grand.
Yeah. I think you want to enable it there. So I like using this one when I'm doing a rock mix and I want the piano to cut through a little bit. It can cut through without being tinny and annoying. So it's a really nice... I hate EQing piano sounds. I like to just use a different piano that has a little bit better character.
Okay, cool. We're going to switch over to a library company called Vere Harmonic. They make 2 choir and voice-oriented instruments. The first one we're going to look at is called Voices of Prague.
So with soloists, you have soloists, 4 solo singers, a soprano, alto, tenor, bass. You can program in phonetically what you want them to sing. And as I drift into their other ranges, you'll see the other singers begin to be engaged. So this is the Voices of Prague. This is the choir, a very, very powerful choir. Same deal. You can program it to sing what you want, but there's so many different mic positions. And one of the things I love about Voices of Prague is that the mod wheel will actually control the dynamics, but it's not just adjusting the volume of the sample. It's actually switching which layer you're switching to. So you get singers singing louder, not just the sample of singers and we raise the volume up, but you'll actually hear the character, the timbre of their singing, and their vibrato becomes more intense because they're pushing more volume out. So if I play a little bit, and then I go softer, you hear that vibrato start to get ratcheted back. You hear the timbre of their voice getting calmer. So it's really interesting. You can actually program this in. You can record what you're going to do and then program the mod wheel in later. You know, just record automation for your mod wheel so that you can change the timbre and the character of what they're singing. It's really cool.
Cool. Another library developer for MachFive 3 is a company called Gospel Musicians. We're going to take a quick tour of Gospel Musicians. They make some very cool production stuff for producers, urban sounding stuff. This is called Talkbox Jr.
So now, you know, on the opposite end of the spectrum, from incredibly realistic voices to heavily processed. Really fun
That's
stuff.
cool. So that's Talkbox Jr., and it's a very nice interface to navigate through in terms of getting to your filters, effects, and so on. Very nicely done. It's a new library for MachFive version 3. That's called Talkbox Jr. Let's take a look, Matt, at one here called Pure Sine. This is a library based on nothing but sine waves.
So really strong, powerful sine wave type instruments. Very nice for bass.
Let's check out leads, Matt.
Very nice for leads as well.
let's talk a little bit about a new library from gospel musicians called NeoSoul Keys. Here's their Suitcase EP.
So that last one gave you a lot of options like mic positions, amps, effects. This one is more geared towards you want that neo-soul sound. You want that gospel sound, gospel Wurlitzer.
One of the things I like about the NeoSoul Keys library is it's not just suitcases, they also offer loops that lock the tempo. So I'm going to really quickly navigate into NeoSoul Keys, and let's add in the drum loop section, there's a sample I like down here called Shucka Clap. That's interesting. And then why don't we add as another layer, let's go in and add a bass loop on top of that. And now at the NAMM Show 2014, we're previewing a brand new instrument from VI Labs. This is called the Ravenscroft Piano. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ravenscroft pianos, but these are very beautifully exquisite live performance instruments, pianos. They take thousands of hours to hand build. They're $270,000 instruments. So this is a brand new library. It's 35 gigabytes of piano samples with different mic positions. But we have kind of a nice way to mix this up here at the last demo. We've got a very special guest. We've got an artist, producer, composer, and a world-class keyboard player. One of our good friends at MOTU. This is Jay Oliver. Yes. Jay Oliver.
Problem.
So we're going to just do a quick recap. We've talked about new libraries for MachFive version 3. UVI, visit uvi.net. We talked about Urban Suite, Waverunner, also Ultramini. Acoustic samples, the beautiful Kawai, GD6 acoustic guitar, and the Urban drums. VI Labs makes the beautiful TrueKeys piano collection, and we previewed the new Ravenscroft piano. You can read about their sound libraries at vilabs.com. Virharmonic makes soloists and Voices of Prague. And gospel musicians, Pure Sine, NeoSoul Keys, and Talkbox Jr. So that's been our demo today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask our technicians. Thanks very much.